What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and this is rFactor 2, where today we're going to be driving the newly updated DW12 IndyCar from the newly released Atlanta Motorsports Park. And hopefully the frame rate improves from here. Hopefully it's not too much of a problem in the video either, but it's just kind of one of those things where at the start everybody's kind of going crazy. Lots of things are happening. That's an aggressive move right there. But anyways, Atlanta Motorsports Park, brand new circuit, available for rFactor 2 from ISI, free to all owners. Yep, that was a power slide in an IndyCar, just in case you weren't paying attention. Gotta be ready for the aero push, because it is massive. We'll get you. But Atlanta Motorsports Park, real-world circuit located in Dawsonville, Georgia. If you're a NASCAR fan, surely you have heard of that town. It's not to be confused with Road Atlanta or Atlanta Motor Speedway or the freeway in downtown Atlanta, which, for the locals, is basically a racetrack. Not from Atlanta, but I did drive through there once, and oh my goodness. Pretty crazy. But, for a track of comparison, think Barber Motorsports Park. Similar type of track. Smaller circuit. Not really the best suited to these cars, although it does work. Lots of elevation change. A track that's very fun to drive. Not necessarily the best racing racetrack, as it is kind of a little bit small. More suited to club usage, but still workable. A heck of a lot of fun. And whenever you get behind someone, you definitely know it. Just don't have a short enough gear in it. Anyways, the DW12 within rFactor 2 has received a substantial update to the point where I'd say you might as well consider it a brand new car. It's nothing like the old car. That's a very good thing. The old car wasn't that good. That car being released about a year ago. The ISI themselves even admitted that it wasn't that good and that they would be rebuilding that. And here it finally is. And I like it a heck of a lot more than that car. Must say. This car is a heck of a lot of fun to drive. One thing I will say, go into the garage and make some adjustments. One thing I would strongly suggest is changing the caster value. I'm running with positive 9 degrees caster, as it helps weighten up the steering a little bit at low speed, which is just kind of the way physics work and the way things happen when you have to compress the forces to fit onto a toy steering wheel. Oh man! That corner! It's so tricky. The new car is definitely a lot more lively, which was one of my complaints with the old car. The old version was just really stable, especially at the rear end. You had to really try and provoke it to get the car to ever step out on power. And the new version of the car, which features all the latest and greatest rFactor 2 technologies, including the new contact patch model, so much better. I'll hands down, without a doubt, say that this is my favorite open wheel car I've driven within rFactor 2, because it is so lively. It is such a beast in all the right ways. One thing I will also point out, one of my biggest gripes with the old version of the car in particular was the oval version, which is also available, and that's also received a substantial update. I'm not going to show it off in this video, but you know, the old version at Indianapolis, you just crank all the rear wing out of the car, all the front wing, and the car would do 240 down the straights, and you'd have to lift for the corners, but you'd still be doing like 220, 225 through them, which is ridiculous for the configuration that they gave you. But I just did a little bit of experimenting, and it seemed like you actually had to run the car in a more reasonable fashion in terms of setup to actually get the car to go fast, rather than just being like, I'm going to take all the wing out of it. So that's that. Not really a huge fan of the ovals in rFactor 2, which, you know, there's really not a whole heck of a lot of them anyways. There's Indianapolis and Mountain Peak Speedway from ISI, and then I think there's a few third-party mod tracks for ovals, but it's nothing really major. So if you're an oval guy and you really want to drive Indy cars on an oval, this is still not really that great of an option in my opinion, but that's just my opinion, man. But if you're looking to drive Indy cars on road courses, it's a very good option. Now, can we please have Surfer's Paradise? Alternatively, Detroit Belle Isle, or alternatively, Toronto, or even Long Beach, although that's probably out of reach, but please. I desperately need a street racing fix. Street circuits are so much fun. With the way this car drives now here in rFactor 2, it'd be glorious. And 85 miles an hour down the straight. But really, this car is so much more active than the old car. You know, I've talked about it before. It's more difficult, but it's not. Because you kind of expect it. You're driving ahead of the car rather than reacting to the car. It just makes it feel glorious until you drive it off the road. That corner, though, is so tricky. That right at the top of the hill and the right-hander early on in the course, the second first gear corner, get me every time. Very fun combination, though. Maybe a little bit too small for the Indy car again, but still plenty reasonable. And a heck of a lot of fun. See this corner right here. And it's tricky because you're driving into a hill on corner exit, so you can go faster through there than you think, but at the same time the car wants to skate on you on corner exit. And man, oh man, is the underwing taking a beating today. Like, you have to fight the car, but you don't, because it's all telegraphed and it's all sent through the force feedback, and you know what it's going to do. Honestly, and I know people will say you're just saying this because you're an IndyCar fan, which, yeah, I'm definitely an IndyCar fan, but it's not the reason I'm saying this. I think this is one of the most important cars to rFactor 2 because it is probably the highest profile car within rFactor 2. You know, maybe the AC Cobra that was released not that far ago, or alternatively the 2012 Marussia F1 car, for the simple fact that it's an official licensed F1 car, but you know, I think this actually works out better in sim racing because IndyCar is basically a spec series, so the cars are equal. You know, you see F1 mods all the time that are League Edition mods. Personally, I think the idea is just kind of silly. You know, to make every car in an F1 grid exactly the same is just kind of ridiculous. Nobody ever wants to drive the slow cars, though. And rightfully slow, which is where I think a car like this, which offers really fast performance, heck of a lot of fun to drive, kind of factors in. Now, if only we could have some of the street circuits. rFactor 2 also has the alternate compound tires, the red sidewall tires, which have more grip but a shorter life. But we are running on the blacks. That aero push will get you. Just wish there were a few more gearing options. Because I have pretty much the shortest gearing in the car that you can get. But it's just still a little bit too tall, especially here in that corner. Just kind of bogs down. Of course, this is a turbocharged car, so you want to keep the revs up. Plus the fact that it does have a somewhat peaky engine, because these cars also do race on ovals with the same engine. So they obviously want the car to be good at a sustained high RPM. But really, it may look like I'm making a lot of corrections, and I am, but it's not a difficult car to drive. It's very reasonable to drive, and that's what makes it fun. It's difficult in the right way. Now, I should also point out there is a 2014 IndyCar Skinpack out there. I'm not using it here in this video. It hasn't been updated to the latest IndyCar version here in rFactor 2, but that is something that will be happening in the not so distant future. But just so you guys know, that is something that I mentioned would probably happen soon in my previous rFactor 2 DW12 video. That didn't really happen soon. It took about a year, but it did eventually happen, and it will be updated, so you'll have all the real-world skins of the 2014 series. Instead, we're going wheel-to-wheel with Scott Dishin. Let's make the nice, good pass through there. Actually, that's not Mr. Dishin. That's can't remember what his name is. Noonan? Something like that. As long as we beat Mr. Max Thrust, though, that is the important part. It's a very enjoyable combination, very enjoyable car. doing this race kind of makes me wonder. IndyCar, can you go to this track? Because this is kind of cool. It's probably a little bit too small, but hey, they made Barber work, so I'm sure they put on a good show here. Having to balance the car on the power, keep the car from spinning. Although I'm pretty sure if the real cars were to race here, that right-hander at the bottom of the hill would definitely have some problems. I'm pretty sure that cone just sent us almost sideways there. AI behaving quite well. Being pretty reasonable. This car, though, digging it. Really digging it. And for those of you guys who didn't know, again, something that I probably should have thrown out a little bit earlier, but here in rFactor 2, it's still the 2014 spec Dallara aero kit, not the new ones that they're running this year in 2015. Done by the manufacturers. Which again, yeah, it'd be cool to see the updated version, the real world spec that's now current. But at the same time, Honda has basically been slow all year compared to the Chevys, and for sim racing, nobody ever wants to have a disadvantage. So, you know, it does kind of work out better in the end, I think, for the virtual world. Plus, there's a lot less debris. It's an easy joke. It's an easy joke. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the real world, they would not be taking that line through that corner. Watch out for the understeer. Actually, go ahead and run a little bit tighter line through there to offset our car a little bit. Looks like we got about 2 laps to go. Let's see if we can pass Mr. Dishin. Kind of got our braking wrong there a little bit. Make one more pass here. At least. I mean, I'd like to pass the whole field, but I don't think that's a realistic expectation at this stage. Oh man, this is so much fun. Just carrying that left front as the track drops away. Nope, 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 nope. Come on. sloppy through there. Don't think we're going to get him. I ain't lifting! Should have lifted. Should have lifted. Really should have lifted. But yeah, that's the rFactor 2 Dallara DW12 IndyCar, newly updated. Spectacular to drive. Highly recommended that you give it a go. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.